That will settle now. Now it's becoming a battle between two legal brains. One former, the other, the current Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana. Godfrey Yewuadam has challenged current Attorney General and Minister for Justice Dominic Ayine over the withdrawal and discontinuation of 7 criminal cases. That means the move is a deliberate attempt to exonerate former appointees implicated in these cases. At a news conference last Wednesday, Attorney General Dr. Ayine defended the decision, citing various reasons, including the withdrawal of charges against current Finance Minister Ato Forson. However, speaking at a news conference earlier today, Mr. Dame questioned the legal basis for these withdrawals.
Gentlemen, in a chilling twist, the nation head Dr. Ayine confessing to speaking with lawyers for the defense and engaging them on the cases that were pending against leading members of the NDC before exercising his discretion to file no prosecution or withdraw the charges. He indicated that in Republic versus Jachi, the lawyer for the accused expressed an inclination to go on and prove the innocence of his client, and therefore he decided not to enter no prosecution. Respectfully, what this betrays clearly is that the exercise of Dr. Ayine's discretion to continue the prosecution of cases or not is informed principally by the disposition of counsel for the accused in cases that the Republic is prosecuting against their clients. Thus, if counsel for the accused is in a position to strongly defend the interests of his client in court, the Attorney General of the Republic will not enter no prosecution. Where the counsel for the accused are not convinced about the likelihood of a success of their defense in court, Dr. Ayine would immediately enter a no prosecution if the prosecution has not closed its case, and a withdrawal if the prosecution has closed its case, so that an acquittal and discharge will be secured. As I will show in an examination of each of the specific cases cited in Ayine's press statement, the Honorable Attorney General quite comprehensively relied solely on the case for the defense before exercising his discretion to discontinue the actions. He did not engage in any meaningful consultation with the prosecution's division of the Office of Attorney General before instructing the filing of the withdrawals and no prosecution in the cases against senior members of the John Mahama government and other leading members of the NDC. The dates of filing of the said processes buttress the assertion I make, and I've referred to them already. I challenge Dr. Ayine to show any memorandum presented to him by the prosecution's division of the Office of Attorney General advising or indeed expressing a view on the consultation, discontinuation, or termination, as he calls it, of any of the criminal cases in question. I can say without any fear of contradiction that there is none. He should also show evidence of consultations on any of the charges he held with the Director of Public Prosecutions, the DPP, before discontinuing the cases. You can be assured he cannot produce any. Listening to Dr. Ayine, one gets a distinct and chilling confirmation that he relied solely on the version of the facts as presented by counsel for the accused, as well as their erroneous views of the law on the subject matters in question. It is for this reason that the claims of alleged defect in the various charges only re-echo positions articulated by the defense counsel throughout the various proceedings. In effect, Dr. Ayine came to narrate to the Ghanaian public on Wednesday the perspective of defense counsel on the charges their clients had been charged with. The media would notice that for each of the cases, the explanations of the Attorney General for the withdrawal were only a rehash of arguments already reported in the media as having been made in the courtroom by counsel for the defense. Is that a reasonable manner of the exercise of the Attorney General's discretion to enter no prosecution and withdrawal of criminal cases? I ask.
Well, he also accused the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, of conflict of interest as he served as counsel in some of the discontinued cases.
The nation would note that Dr. Ayine and other leading figures in the NDC and the government of the day were counsel in many of the cases he has discontinued. I say that indeed it is not uncommon for defense counsel as Dr. Ayine and other NDC personalities were, looking at the same set of facts to come to different conclusions, informed by their varying understandings of the law and, of course, the undeniable political considerations they hold. However, I dare say that in taking decisions as monumental as withdrawing those cases, the only consideration has to be the national interest not that of defense counsel. The analysis I make of the reasons advanced by Dr. Ayine will expose the questionable intent behind the withdrawal of the criminal cases. Dr. Ayine's unfounded allegation insinuating unethical conduct on my part in the conduct of the ambulance trial, Republic vs. Ato Forson and two others, is highly disingenuous and rather unfortunately recaps the series of falsehoods persistently published by foot soldiers of the NDC and other uninformed members of society. I must say that I find it quite ironical for Dr. Ayine, who is a subject of disciplinary proceedings for professional misconduct, still pending at the General Legal Council, filed by the Honorable former Chief Justice himself, to accuse me of unethical conduct. In the interest of the nation, the case of professional misconduct pending against Dr. Ayine at the General Legal Council should have been determined before the parliamentary assessment of his suitability or otherwise for the high office of the Attorney General and Minister for Justice of the Republic.
So that's the former Attorney General, he also said was Minister of Justice during the Nana Akufo-Addo administration, at least in the second part of it. He was deputy during the first part of the Akufo-Addo administration and became the substantive Attorney General in the second half of the government of the MPP, Godfred Yeboah-Dame. Responding to the cases that has now been pulled by the current Attorney General, Dr. Ayine. Yesterday, 2 days ago, he made it quite clear that he acted solely, not under the direction of President John Dramani Mahama. Now, we're trying to understand what is going on, the governance aspect of this, because these are two legal brains. They are acting for and on behalf of the Republic or the people of this country. I have cases of people who have been cited for causing financial loss to the state, of impropriety in the handling of some, government business whilst in responsible positions. And what we are witnessing is the discontinuation of these cases. Reasons have been adduced by the current Attorney General, and then the former is raising issues with it. We'll try and understand the way forward as far as this matter is concerned. Let me see if I can get the reaction of Dr. Abakuba, a political scientist. Dr. Abakuba, I'm particularly interested in the governance of these are two political heads. One served in the MP, one serving in the NDC. Between them, cases that were in court and now these cases are out of court. And you can clearly look at the political considerations in all of this. Are we getting value for money in what is happening between these two, legal heads?
Well, I have to tell you, I have a doom-sore situation, so you may not hear me very well. But we have two attorney generals. The one who just started, we don't have enough evidence to judge his cases. But the one who was there has no credibility to say anything. If you try somebody for almost 8 years, you have not been able to convict any of them, you must discontinue. It's very simple.
But the concern people are raising, in the last 8 years, some people were taken to court. We all saw the legal gymnastics that were at play, appeal upon every decision that was taken during these processes. Now, there's a new regime. You would say that for their guilt or otherwise to be established, why don't you allow the court process to come to its conclusion? The Member of Parliament for Asante North, according to the current Attorney General, reached out to him, but the Member of Parliament says, no, I want the court to pronounce me guilty or not, so I'm not allowing you to withdraw the case. Shouldn't same have been applied to the other 7 cases?
Sorry, there was so much noise. So much noise in what you were saying, so I didn't hear you very well. Please say the end again.
Yes, so I was referencing Dr. Ayine's news conference when he was asked about government position on the case involving the Member of Parliament for Asante North.
I hear it now.
Mr. Yachikwesi. Now, Mr. Yachikwezi's response to the Attorney General was that he is interested in getting the court to pronounce him guilty or not regarding whether he falsified documents regarding his nationality. And I'm saying that why didn't the current Attorney General wait for the court to pronounce judgment on the cases rather than take them out of the court's hands?
Well, I agree. It's not the best, but it's not as bad as the other way around. That's the whole thing. It's not the best. As a country, we shouldn't be doing that. As a president, you should not accept that. Now, if you think the person is innocent, you've taken over, go through the process. Let the court declare it, not you dismiss it. So that is not done, you see. So it looks like it's a political game we are playing. But it's a lot worse for the other Attorney General to sit there and tell me that 7-8 years of prosecuting someone, you're not able to nail him because of appeal. This is part of the process. Of course, you make an appeal. But if it stands no ground, the appeal doesn't matter. Judge will throw it out very quickly. And you keep going. And you will nail him. If you are not able to do that, you cannot use that as justification or the reason why you are not able to convict him. No. How long does it take to convict someone? How long? 2 times, 8 years? No, that is not satisfactory at all. So if they dismiss it, it's still not the best. The court should have decided. But if they done it, it's not as bad as the other one. They are both not good, but this one is worse. And what are you looking for? 8 years. What are you looking for? To convict him 2 terms of the same government. You are not able to do it. What do you want?
But, Prof, are these not the cases that fuel the perception of corruption, especially in our political circles?
Please, you have to say that again.
No, I was asking that, are these not instances that fuel the perception of corruption in our political circles? Now,
it's all fun, yes. This is why I say it's not good. That the government should not have allowed the new Attorney General to discontinue the case and dismiss it. No, it shouldn't have. Because if you see that the president could call the Attorney General, the new one, and say, okay, what is it? Why are not they able to convict him after all this time? You can show that, yes, it's show the evidence. Their evidence is very flimsy, that's why they are not able to do it. Then let the court decide. But you yourself, you cannot just dismiss the case like that. That is political.
In the interest of good governance, what do we expect of this administration in matters of this nature?
Well, I'm sure the president will caution not to do that again. Any existing case must run its course, not use politics to discontinue it and declare the person innocent or whatever. Okay. I'm sure, I don't know if there are any such more cases pending. Right? If they are, they should not do it the way they've done it. No. Let the court decide the finality of the case. That's what I expect the president to do.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Makumba. Let me bring in senior lecturer and political analyst at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Jonathan Asante Otchere. So, Dr. Otchere, what do you make of the banter between the two Attorney General? Is it healthy? And if you can unmute for me.
I have. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, thank you. The very first time, I had these discontinuations of cases from the current Attorney General, I was taken a bit aback. But come to think of it, you need to deal with the issues individually. But if you lump them up, then you create a wrong optics.
Right.
Now, if you, and virtually, his decision is making a disgraced former Attorney General in the person of Akufo-Addo to have cause to raise alarm. When in actual fact, if you look at the nitty-gritty of the issues, they are not founded on anything. Look, the very first time I heard of the case that Mr. Akufo-Addo leveled against Ato Forson and then Japa and Ato Forson in particular, I said that this is politically motivated because you are talking about a certain gentleman who was not even the minority leader, became the minority leader, was every day a thorn in the flesh of government, one step ahead of them. He told all of us that government is supposed to go to the IMF. They said no. Of course, he told all of us that we are going to have a haircut. The president even had cause, right, to have a State of the Nation address in which he made us know that that thing was not going to happen. In the end, it happened. So this man was a thorn in their flesh. So it was politically motivated. Such a weird case, of course. I said that I saw in the decision of Akufo-Addo in the non-discontinuation of the cases as a trap for the incoming, Attorney General. I said that because if you remember, the Attorney General then, under Mr. Akufo, discontinued the case against Nana Rawlings. Right? On this, so it baffled me that Akufo-Addo, as much as shameful as he's become disgraced in the legal fraternity, right? He did not go ahead to do that. So I felt that was an entrapment. The question I also asked myself is that, okay, so is the government telling us that Mr. Siama or Dr. Siama, there's no other person that can be the governor apart from him? And must his case be discontinued? Must his case be discontinued before, you see, he can become the governor of the Bank of Ghana? Or duly he must be the governor of Bank of Ghana? That's the more reason why there is a need for discontinuation. I think if you look at some of these cases, like for example, how many years must you take to test the quality of fertilizer in a case such as Okuni and that of Sedu Agongo? To test a fertilizer, 8 years. So you could see the ridiculousness in the way and manner Mr. Akufo-Addo, was using legal prosecution as a way of legal persecution. That's how I saw it.
But I mean, in the case of the Cocoa Board case, Dr. Okuni and Sedu Agongo, you also reckon the impediments that, for want of a better word, was put in the way of the Attorney General, where every decision taken by the court was taken through the appeals court all the way to the Supreme Court. And some said that there was a lot of legal gymnastics at play that frustrated the smooth running of the case.
I agree, because you want to go the full haul of the law, then definitely you are going to meet all these setbacks and encumbrances. It is just that, you see, for me, if the case is that straightforward, you don't have to stress improving a case. In the same way, I mean, I want to think that the current Attorney General may have a reason to level charges against the former Attorney General. With respect to Ato Forson's case, when the mother company, for example, had decided to give as a nation a little over 2 million euros.
Right.
So what is the motive in you pursuing such a case if it was not a vendetta? So if we had not had that recording that came out, obviously he would have been seen as someone who is prosecuted when in actual fact was persecuted. Look at Dr. Ofosuankofi's case. Ordinary tape recording. If not the fact that it is political motivated, ordinary tape recording, what you say, you have to prove that he has the capacity to do that which he said he was going to do. And then whether he is indeed the one speaking. How many years? So in the course of the prosecution, what some of us noticed was that in the heat of the campaign in 2020, whenever he's going about to do his campaign, then there is the court calls the case. So you could see the angle, the way they were going about it. What about Democracy Hub? So Mr. Odame did not see the need to file another prosecutor in the way and manner they are punished these young guys, this youth that we can call youthful exuberance. He did not see the wisdom in discontinuing such a case, when in actual fact what they were fighting for was a good cause for all of us in terms of our survival. So for the optics, discontinuing the cases in M block creates an erroneous impression, as though you are trying to favor people who are aligned to the party in government. But you need to disaggregate and look at the merit of the cases. Mr. Dame should not in any way think that all of a sudden he is someone who is only a Dao that just descended on earth. That cannot be.
But putting yourself in the shoes of those who were before court, and the fact that one of them, the member of parliament for Asin Central, he decided not to go with the Attorney General's decision to discontinue his case, rather insisting that he was going to fight to the end for the court to declare him innocent or not. In the minds of other people, persons like Dr. Opuni, Seydou Agongo, and the rest, because the court did not come to a decision on them, in the minds of other people, they are still guilty. Yeah. Couldn't they age have waited for the court to bring finality to this matter, so that in the minds of everybody will be clear as to the way forward as far as these cases are concerned?
Yeah, I agree with you to a larger extent. But you see, if the former Attorney General had any case, especially Ato Forson's case, they would have proven him so wrongly that the whole world would have seen that this person is going to jail for ABC and D. Now, when you have a legal luminary in the person of Mr. Chichikata leading such a charge, don't forget, when Mr. Akufo was giving him a pardon, he declined.
Right.
He declined that, said he was going to fight in court to exculpate himself, which he did. So if he is leading, what is it called? Mr. Jechi, then obviously he wouldn't opt for that. He would want to prove his case in the court of law. But you see, my brother, let's see something. Now, these cases, as frivolous as they may appear, if we go to the full hall as a nation and we lose, is the state not going to lose money?
Right.
The court will obviously slap charges. So I foresee some kind of negotiation, because we don't want to continue. I'm speaking, just putting myself in the shoes of the Attorney General.
Right.
We don't want to continue the case. So what do we do? Because we've seen that in actual fact, this is persecution, not prosecution. It's not founded on anything that is solid. So they may get their freedom, they are discharged, acquitted, and so on and so forth. But you see, the other side, for me, strategically, is that the state will probably not lose anything. This is a country that is hemorrhaging. So this, for me, is a period. The discontinuation, we must also look at it from that tactical perspective. Because if they have gone a full war and they are lost, 8 years or 9 years thereabout, the state is going to lose, it's going to pay a lot of compensation.
Yeah, on the other side, the state could also win.
And that for me was incumbent more on the previous Attorney General than the current one. Because a case such as fertilizer, for me, shouldn't have been a problem to prove the guilt or otherwise of the accused persons.
The former Attorney General is also challenging Dr. Dominicani to make public the so-called legal opinion written by a state attorney to the Attorney General on the Opuni case, and that will bring finality to this matter. He says that it is not simply enough to say that some persons at the Attorney General office wrote against the state going ahead with the prosecution of the case. The former says that let's have evidence of that. Do you think that it will be proper for Dr. Dominicani to bring that document out? Yeah, I think either your colleague Kenneth or a mother station, I think TV3, one of them, asked that question. Yes. Whether that, memo, right, will be made public. But he was more considerate about where it was coming from, their security, and so you will have to clear that out with the source of that particular memo. But also, I think that matter was not on Opuni, it was rather on Dr. Siama's case. Right. Yes, that memo was on that case. Yes. So I think it is incumbent upon Dr. Ayine to prove that indeed such a memo do exist, and as it were, well, I want to believe his integrity more than Godfrey Dami. There are those who are of the view that clearly these are politicians protecting themselves. There are hundreds, if not millions, of cases pending before the court. Some have been in detention for years. They've not even had their day in court. The concentration is to give my friends and colleagues a breathing space rather than the generality of pursuing cases in the interest of the Republic. How do we deal with these matters when the ordinary person who may be innocent is still languishing in jail because even the docket is lost and cannot find himself in court to defend him or herself? But the politician has been let go. You are right. Don't also forget, somebody also spoke about Afoko's brother. Yes. Who's also languishing in jail, so to speak, when he's been granted all the needed freedom that he ought to enjoy, but the previous government declined, to oblige.
I think that it creates an erroneous impression as though some are more humans than the others. Of course, in reality, we are not equal in reality. But in theory, they say we are. But if somebody can steal, a bunch of plantain and be given 10, 12 years, and somebody steals $1 million and is given 1 year, then you have to understand that we are not equal. But be that as it may, I think it sends a bad signal. And if this alternative dispute that they've been talking about, or, sending justice into the prisons as a way of listening and having, to listen again to some of these cases and allowing them to go, I think that will equally help. But other than that, you see, the law costs a lot of money. You may not be guilty, but you don't have resources to even hire a lawyer. That in itself becomes a problem. And then you find yourself in jail. It's just unfortunate. That is how nature has made certain things. But all the same, as a society, to ensure that there is that bonding and growth of all, there is a need to have that concerted effort on the side of leadership to ensure that others are not left behind.
Yeah, Doctor, before I let you go, my final question will be, Ghana is not doing so well on the Corruption Perception Index. The reason being that sometimes some of these cases are swept, under the carpet. There's a new regime in place. Now, there's an oral report that the Attorney General himself is studying, and then if a case is established in the many before him, probably will, on the advice of the president, put these individuals in court. And obviously will center around former government appointees. Will we have the moral right to do so when he did not see to the end of ones that directly affected his colleagues?
Well, once again, we stand at the peril of lumping everything together, and that will create an erroneous impression. Each case must be treated in and by its merit, and that is what it should be. I think that so far the president has really started well. I don't know, this Attorney General discontinuation probably will be a blot one way or the other, but if you treated them individually, then you see the wisdom in the decision of the Attorney General. But be that as it may, I think that I questioned that Abamia, for example, that if we voted for him, are we really going to get accountability? Will he be able to investigate PDS? Will he be able to investigate, the National Cathedral?
Right.
Will he be able to do so in so many of these scandals? The answer that came to me was nay. He's not going to be able to do that. And that's the more reason why Ghanaians voted for Mr. Mahama, overwhelmingly. Therefore, that call of accountability cannot be let go. There is the need for that reckoning to be done. In as much as they have just come in as a new government, you don't expect that they will be in the peril of the law. But as long as they also begin to take actions and make mistakes, then obviously the law will have to catch up on them. But I foresee in the current disposition of the president as someone who will really sack any of his appointees with ease if he hears of anything untoward. And I think that is something he's been warning them, that you have been given the mandate. The mandate of the people has been given to you. Don't go out there rubbing it in their faces. Show humility and modesty. And I think that so far, if you listen to what Global Info Analytics brought, of which I gave the president 80%, Ghanaians gave the president 84% approval rating.
All right.
And 68% Ghanaians suggested in that poll that Ghana was now headed in the right direction, unlike 22% in the previous regime. So if he goes on that tangent, then I think that resetting that he's talking about will have to see the light of day. All
right, Dr. Olibite, thank you so much, and a happy Valentine's Day to you. Let's stay a little longer with President John Mahama, because he has assured Ghanaians that the 2025 budget will address the financial gap caused by the suspension of the United States aid to Ghana. Speaking at the town hall meeting of the Munich Security Conference, he acknowledged the benefits of external assistance, but emphasized the need for Africa to focus on self-reliance. Let me take you to Germany, where the president is participating in the MSC Leaders Session on charting relevance towards a stronger UN in a fragmented world.
Communities. I was going to make a comment about peacekeeping and saying that it doesn't work in every circumstance. There are circumstances where the UN cannot restore peace because there's a violent situation taking place. I remember with ECOWAS, when we had the Liberian Civil War, it took ECOWAS to form the ECOWAS Monitoring Group, ECOMOG, to go in while fighting was taking place, secure the port area, inject ECOWAS forces in there, and protect civilians and push back the rebels and create a safe zone. It's very difficult to insert a UN force into a situation like that. And so I do think that partnerships with REX are important, and we must bring those closer. But for instance, right now, 3 of our neighbors, the Sahelian countries, are breaking away to form their own alliance. And that is because of the Islamist jihadist insurgency that is taking place. We could do a multinational joint task force, but our economies require those resources for healthcare, for education, and to provide other social services for our people. And so unless we got resources from an organization like the UN or the AU, it makes it difficult for us as a regional organization to make any intervention. And so I think that there should be stronger partnerships going forward between the regional economic communities and the United Nations.
Thank you. You want to respond?
Oui. En fait, j'ai toujours pensé que pour un continent comme l'Afrique,
yes, I've always believed that for a continent like Africa, in order for such a continent or a country on that continent can...
So we'll bring you more details from the ongoing conference in Germany. But let's move to some other stories now. And Ghana is among the first countries in sub-Saharan Africa to launch an oral cholera vaccination campaign. This campaign comes at a critical time as Ghana grapples with rising cholera outbreak that's already resulted in over 4,000 reported cases across 5 regions: Greater Accra, Eastern, Central, Ashanti, and Western. The outbreak has claimed more than 40 lives, sparking concern among health officials and the general public. Professor Samuel Kaba Akoria, Director General of the Ghana Health Service, says his office is doing everything it can to contain the spread of cholera and has called for national support to combat the disease.
The greatest opportunity we can ever have in battling of cholera. And because of the importance of this activity, we have the highest level of health service present with us. And we will plead with the pre-mothers, we will plead with the entire community, we will plead with the hospital staff that we cannot do this alone. Government cannot do this alone, because cholera is about lifestyle, it's about cleanliness, it's about sanitation, it's about water to be able to wash your hands anytime you're going to eat. Let's try and see if we can go back to those days of COVID. You remember COVID, you spend about 1 year or 2 years, wash your hands and face masks. Let's see if we can continue washing our hands. And we plead with the pre-mothers that you should be our mouthpiece right here. Because we know people listen to you a lot when you talk to them. The market women, everyone, we want to appreciate your efforts, but we want you to do more so that we keep the cholera. The next child, we don't know. It could be the next minister for health, it could be the next president, or it could be the next farmer to put food on our table, or the next carpenter to roof our houses, or the next fisherman to go and bring us fish. So we need to take care of our children. I beg all of you, let's extreme this so that the vulnerable population will not be deeply affected.
Meanwhile, the Minister for Health, Kwabena Mintah Kando, has reaffirmed his commitment to maintaining the quality of healthcare provided in the country. Chief of Staff Julius Zebra on February 11 revoked all recruitments made after the December 7 general elections, citing it as unfit governance practice. Now, a move the minister described as timely, as his outfit may be unable to pay the individuals employed after the December 7 general elections.
Ministry of Finance issued clearance for health professionals to be recruited, for which the expiry date was 31st December 2024. So even it is in the interest of anybody who may be recruited beyond that point for its recruitment to be suspended. Because if we recruit you beyond that point, we cannot pay you. Beyond 31st December 2024. So we are not in any way saying that the recruitment that were done within the period, the recruitment that the 31st December 2024 clearance covers are not affected. And so let's get it clear. Our information is that even as we speak, some people are even attempting to get people recruited into this, which is illegal. We have not opened any portal. We have not opened any portal in the ministries or Ghana Health Service. So please, there should not be any apprehension. The directive is clear. It is applicable to people who have not gotten their names on the payroll, before or during January. Because if you are recruited now, your name can only be on the payroll after January. And that is what we want to guard against. So there's no cause of alarm. Nobody should exaggerate the directive, and we are not going to sack anybody who has officially been recruited and has gone through the right procedure.
Right, so this is a pause here on Joy News. Let's take a short break and return with more on your TV set. We're back, and of course it's Friday, so let's relax the mood a little bit, because of course it's also a day for love, to show love and to be appreciated. It's the Valentine's Day, if you like. Now this evening, our sister station Love FM and Insura in Kumasi are hosting the biggest Valentine event in Kumasi. Sakodie, Forian Ponsa, Ifia and YP are heading the Vals Night with the Stars event powered by Musically Yours. Here is a report by Arabna Akwe.
Studios with us today, we have Efia and Oforia Ponsa. Let's hear what they have to say about the event.
Just be ready to maybe never go back to the person that you were before you saw me perform. So just make up your mind that as I'm coming to this Efia show, I might go back home as a different person.
How ready are you for the program?
Well, I'm geared up, and tonight will be just like crazy, I know. Like, people will enjoy tonight, and it will be a day to remember, believe me.
So what should we expect from you?
Well, all the best songs that Oforian Ponsa has will just like be played today, and it will give lovers, the feel, and then it will be just like a healing, So I want people to just like come there and enjoy the night.
Our stars performing live are in town at the moment, as you can see, and it's happening at 7 p.m. Rich Condos in Shire. So
how is it going down? Time to bring in lead events and promotions at MGL. Eric Inkum. So Eric, is everything set for tonight?
Everything is set, my brother.
So tell me about it.
But we started preparations from Tuesday. That is when the setups began, and everything as we speak is on course. The setup, all the artists are in town. We've had interviews at Love FM and Insura FM, and in fact, they are poised to trail all patrons who will make it to the vast night with the stars this evening at Rich Condos.
Tell me about the uniqueness of tonight's events.
And this is unique because for a very long time, events of this nature has never happened in this part of the world, in Ashanti. We for multimedia, we organize a lot of events, and we do have concerts in Christmas and then other periods, that is during the Easter festivity and all that. But when it comes to a vast day concert, this is the biggest that we've had in this. We're going to have in this calendar year, so it is unique. If you compare it to other events that are happening in Ashanti, this is the biggest with top line artists talk of Star Codier, Brian Fontan, UIP, and other supporting acts that will be playing tonight.
So, Eric, is this just going to be the usual thing? The artist is on stage, sing, people dance, or they sit and relax and listen to the music, or there's something more beyond the music?
Okay, so all the three artists are going to do a live band performance. So that is something that is a bit unique from what we always experience at events. So none of the artists is going to perform like miming. We all is going to be a live band performance. And if you look at the setup, we've divided the space into two. So the first space is for table reservation. So almost all the patrons that are going to come through this event are going to have a relaxed environment where they will sit with their friends and colleagues to enjoy themselves. So this one looks more different from other events that are happening during this period of time. All right,
and I'm asking for a lot of folks out there. Is it too late to get a ticket?
No. It's not too late. You know, the rich condos can contain, or we could do 5,000 people.
Wow.
So our target is 5,000. And as I speak to you, we've done a little over 4,000. So there's still more room for people to buy tickets. So if you've not gotten yourself a ticket, you could come through to Love FM, the front desk of Love FM, and get yourself a ticket, or you can go to Rich Condos to get yourself a ticket.
And what time is it starting?
The show is starting at 7 p.m. and it will run through to like 3:30, 4 a.m. and then we'll have an after party at Rich Condos as well.
Wow, is there going to be a whole night running into the early hours of tomorrow? Tomorrow is Saturday, so obviously the fun can go on and on and on.
Exactly.
All right. So are there sponsors you'd like to acknowledge before we wrap up?
Oh, yeah, sure. We have two sponsors that, in fact, we must thank them for their support. Akarigo Beaters from Raw Care Beverages, and then Kids Gel. So these are the two major sponsors who are supporting this event. All right.
The venue again is the Rich Condo in Kumasi, 7 p.m. sharp.
Yeah, sure.
And of course, we've got all the top artists on Efia Sarkodie, and of course, Eric, thank you so much, and of course we'll catch up with you on the now. It is actually that time of the year again. Today is Friday, red roses, chocolate, and love in the air. But beyond the romance, Valentine's Day is also big business. Now this year, however, traders at La Paz market say sales have been slow, blaming the rising cost of goods. My colleague Esther Nkrumah visited the market to find out.
Valentine's Day. A time for love, gifts, and special moment. But for some, this year feels different.
Yeah, but this year, I don't know. Yes, I don't know. Wait,
Fatima isn't expecting any gifts this season. Not because she doesn't love the celebration, but because she recently ended her relationship.
What's the best Valentine's Day gifts you received?
Wow, last year. Oh, wallahi.
What did you receive last year?
Hey, Telebed, the biggest one. Yeah, but this year, I don't know. Yes, I don't know. Wait,
so you haven't received anything from anybody. But are you hoping that somebody will give you something?
Yes, yeah, I'm sure. Inshallah, I'm sure. I really liked champagne. Oh, Pompia, I really like it.
Traders here at La Paz say sales have been slow, blaming the rising cost of goods, especially chocolate.
So almost 2 weeks in. Beside
We started our Valentine's sales 2 weeks ago, but business has been quite slow. Many people come in to ask about prices, but only a few actually make a purchase. The number of enquiries far exceeds the number of sales. In previous years, prices were relatively lower, and some customers even paid for their items in advance. However, this year, prices have increased significantly, especially for chocolates.
Now, Valentine's Day sales no costing.
Last year, this year, I'm my wedding, and the money pant me rushing a mano. Basropa,
the rise in prices has slowed down sales. Many customers request chocolate and teddy bears, but the cost of chocolate has increased significantly. A chocolate bar that used to sell for 20 cedis now costs 30 cedis.
Oh, about chocolates, that one, it's too much. I don't even know why, but I guess if they want to buy it, and actually they'll buy it. So if they want to buy it, they'll buy it. But the chocolate has gone too high. It's like ×2 of last year. The difference is too huge. Some people say that their money is not up to, and they are going and they'll be back. But some buy. A few, those who are actually bought enough, they buy that one. But they don't buy even to the amount they wanted.
But they remain optimistic, hoping last-minute shoppers will boost sales.
So the day is red, and there's also the caution aspect of the day as it's being celebrated. I'm sure that tonight, many of the pubs, nightclubs, hotels, other areas, the malls, people will go there just to have fun, just to spend time with their loved ones. But the programs manager of the National AIDS and STI Control Program, Dr. Akufo-Addo, has called for a new targeted approach to the country's HIV and STI response. He emphasized the need for a more strategic, efficient, and innovative approach to effectively combat these diseases whilst optimizing resources. Dr. Addo highlighted the National AIDS and STI Control Program has already developed a sustainable roadmap as part of the national response strategy. Speaking to at a news conference during a free condom distribution event at 7 locations in Accra, organized to promote safer sex during Valentine's Day celebration, he underscored the importance of targeted interventions to maximize profit. Carlos Caloni has the rest of the story.
To promote safe sex awareness, the National AIDS and STI Control Program, in partnership with the Ghana HIV and AIDS Network, GANET, distributed thousands of free condoms across 7 locations in Accra, including the Okponglo traffic light in Legon, as part of effort to reduce infections as Ghanaians marked Valentine's Day on February 14th. Speaking to the media, Gannett Monitoring and Evaluation Officer Gladys Akwete emphasized that the initiative aims to curb the rising HIV infection rate in the country.
In the year 2023, we recorded about 17,000 new infections. And just last year, that's 2024, there was some testing done, HIV testing done. And from January to September, we recorded about 35,000 newly diagnosed HIV positive cases. And that's alarming and concerning as well. Today, because of those figures we've been seeing over the years, the deaths, the new infections, number of people living with HIV, and knowing that HIV, most of it is gotten through unprotected sex, and also that there are more than 100,000 people living with HIV in Ghana who do not know their status. We then decided that we are going to take advantage of all seasons, all programs happening in Ghana this year, and during each festive season that we know there's the potential of risky sexual behaviors, we are going to share condoms to the general public. That is why we are here. And we are not only here, we are in 7 different locations in Accra today, where we are distributing packaged condoms to the general public. We want to tell them to spread the love and not the virus. We want to tell them the consequences of not protecting themselves and also the advantages of protecting themselves, especially in this festive season.
For his part, the program manager of the National AIDS and STI Control Program, Dr. Akufo-Addo, urged targeted, strategic, and efficient approach to combating HIV and STIs while optimizing resources.
Under the leadership of the Ghana Commission, we've started discussion on the sustainability of the national response. The national response, where we have reached and where we've come from, requires rethinking, reorganization, efficiency, and targeted intervention because there's dwindling resources. So next week, I'll be part of a meeting to discuss HIV sustainability for prevention and so on and so forth. And this one started, we've had our other meetings already, and Ghana has developed a roadmap, sustainability roadmap. And we are waiting for the settlement of the new president and new government. We're going to have a discussion with new leadership or provide orientation and discussion with our new minister to discuss the sustainability of the national response. We need to begin to look at targeted intervention, efficiency, innovation to reduce the need for more resources. But the push is to ensure greater domestic financing. So increase governmental support for the response because it's a national security threat if our national response continues to be in the hands of our partners.
Some recipients of the free condoms also shared their impressions with Joy News.
For this kind of gift, I think this will prevent a lot of us from STDs and co. So I just want to say a very big thank you for this gift.
Oh, I think it's a very thoughtful idea for you to be giving out condoms on Val's Day. It's a thoughtful gift. If it's not on, it's not in. Protect yourself. Ace is real.
As loved ones head out to celebrate Valentine's Day, the Ghana AIDS Commission, in collaboration with its partners, is urging the public to practice safe sex. For Joy News, Carlos Caloni, Accra.
Right, so we are back. Let's talk more about what happened in town today. Gladys Akwele and Agnes Kwe, they are from the Ghana HIV and AIDS Network, right?
We are.
All right, so Gladys is the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer of GANET, and of course, Agnes is Communication Officer of GANET as well. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So how did the distribution go? People are afraid to take it, shy to take it. How did it go? Let me start with you, Gladys.
We actually thought people would be shy taking the condoms out there in the public eye, but we were surprised.
They came to take it.
Oh, and even the numbers that we packaged to go and share out there were not enough. We had to call the office for more condoms to be brought to specific locations, all our locations, and we had to share more than we anticipated sharing today. And so the numbers were overwhelming, but we are excited about it.
And so, Agnes, that will give me the impression that people are really ready for something tonight.
Oh, obviously. It showed that people really are. There were people that were so upfront about it. They were like, this evening, they really have plans, so they would love if we give them extra. They were actually fumbling over it a lot. The pressure was so much. Just as Gladys said, at a point, we were out of condoms. We had to request for extra. And even when the extras were out, they still wanted more. But our time was up. We had to also rush back to the office.
But the good news is that they are mindful of the danger in having raw sex.
They are.
Yeah, so at least it is encouraging that they came for the condom.
They did.
Okay, so you selected 7 areas in Accra.
We did.
Why? Why the 7 areas?
We wanted to do...
And are you able to tell which areas these are?
Oh, yes. Yes, I can give you the areas.
Yes.
So we did Malam. We stood at Makati Hill, right opposite Akaway. We did Tudu. And then we did Kimbu. We also did the police headquarters. So all in Accra. We did around the police regional headquarters. We also did a Dankwa Circle. We did 37 roundabouts, ABC Junction, Achimota, and we did the Ponglo Junction as well.
Is there a reason behind the selection, or was it just by coincidence?
Oh, we actually wanted to target where traffic is regularly heavy in the morning. Just so we could get people that are on their way either to work or those that are coming back from working night duties or whichever locations they are coming from. And during that period we chose, that is from 6 to 10, that is when you have heavy traffic at these locations and we can reach a lot of people during that period.
So apart from giving them a condom, did you also educate them
we did a little bit about it. We even have educational flyers we gave out.
Okay. The key issue here is the fact that the Ghana AIDS Commission says that over 300 a day contract HIV and AIDS. Now, there are about 100,000 people who are living with the disease, but they do not know, meaning that they've not gone to test. And so probably having multiple sexual partners and spreading it every day. You are in this HIV and AIDS area. How bad is the situation, especially for Ghana?
It is bad. It is bad. And knowing that there are people contracting the infection every day, and there are people living with the virus without knowing their status, that's why we would also want to take this opportunity to let other people know that we have the self-test option there. In the case where you do not want or you are not comfortable choosing the hospital-based testing, we would appreciate and would encourage you to go for the self-testing, where you can do it in the comfort of your own home, know your own status, interpret the status, and then you can take further actions, appropriate actions as to the results you get. Because if you are living with the virus and you do not know your status, that is quite dangerous.
Okay, so Agnes, is HIV and AIDS still a very dreadful subject?
It is not like it used to. It's not so scary as we thought it should be, but it is not. Initially, it was years back. It was quite scary to talk about it. But now with all the ARTs around, and even the self-test itself,
right?
It cuts on the stigma from you going to the hospital or you not wanting people to know you going to test for that. So that you test in the comfort of your own home, you get to know your status. Then you personally speak to a health professional to take it from there if you realize you're reactive to it.
And are people, people ready to talk about their status as far as your work is concerned?
At this point, some people are reluctant, but from what we've gathered so far, people are now open about it more than you used to. They are so open to talk about it freely, other than compared to previously when people were so scared to talk about it. And now we can boldly say that people are so open about it now.
Okay, so Gladys, so I mean, I'm finding it difficult to understand why 14 February has been associated with sex, and the reason why there's some kind of step-up activity regarding HIV and AIDS.
There are so many ways to show love. In our era, in our context, we have realized that sex is one of the major ways that love is shown.
Right.
Or love is shown to your partners. And sometimes the youth are mostly involved in risky sexual behaviors. That is what we are really concerned about. If about 80% of all HIV cases are contracted through unprotected sex, then we need to take a look there. And that is why we took today, 14 February, Valentine's Day, which we know people are going to do a lot of things tonight. We said, okay, let's do some harm reduction today. Right. Let's protect people from infection. You do not know your partner's status, and maybe you do not know your status as well. Why not do the protection? And that is why we chose today. We went out with packaged condoms and we gave it out. And it's quite, I don't know if it was hilarious or something, but you give somebody, we package it in a brown envelope, we should have brought one. You saw us sharing it, and when we give people, they think it's chocolate or something.
And we're going to open it.
Package nice. I was like, oh, open it. And they open it, just burst into laughter. Because it's like, what? I was like, do you want extra? Yes, I want extra. And then we give extra. The whole idea is what we have written on our shirt.
Yes.
Spread love, not the virus. Because it's a season of love.
But the two of you, what are you doing tonight?
I'm going home.
To do what?
Sleep.
To sleep. I asked because someone is asking. The action will be tonight. People go to the nightclub, to the malls, to the drinking spots. Why not target them there?
Yes, I think it was even part of our plans to also target them there. But looking at the plans that people have tonight, we may be sidelined in the intervention. So we decided to do it in the morning when they are going to work. They prepare themselves. So all preparation starts from morning. You prepare yourself also in getting protection. So we decided, okay, let's do the morning and leave the evening for everybody to enjoy their evening. And We might as well enjoy our Valentine.
And in previous time, have you done same like in the beaches, in areas that are that you will find people congregate, especially days like this?
Yes, we
Agnes.
did. During the Christmas festive seasons, we started at the Laboma beaches. We ended on the 1st of January, where we equally did the same initiative with condoms, and people really took it well.
Okay.
So it motivated us to do more. So it's not ending here.
Okay.
We still have more to do in the coming months.
I think on the 1st January, we shared about 84,000 condoms at Laboma Beach. And today we have shared 242,000 condoms only in these 7 locations in Accra.
42,000 condoms.
Yeah. 242,000
today. That's right.
So we are hoping that we will take advantage of all seasons, all programs, any special occasion in Ghana, and we'll scale it up to all the regions in Ghana and do it for everybody to be a partaker of this.
But this thing you are doing is very important. But I'm also curious to know, there's this debate about USA funding here, that how it will impact on activities of people like yourself. Would it be bad? President Mahama this afternoon is assuring that in the 2025 budget, there will be a provision to take care of that funding gap. But to what extent would the suspension affect your NGO, for example?
So our NGO is, most of our funding is from Global Fund, but we also know that United States of America is also a contributor to the Global Fund.
Right.
So cutting off these fundings is going to place us at a very dangerous point where all these interventions we are bringing to persons living with HIV and also to the general public might go down. But we were so happy to hear or see the letter from the President directing the Ministry of Finance to look into the gap that was created and then see how best that one can be solved. So we are assured that all programs that have been targeted programs for HIV, for the national response of HIV, will still continue in Ghana.
Okay. Agnes, somebody is asking whether you brought some of the condoms so that you can rush to Joy FM and pick some.
Oh, unfortunately, we did not.
But you will make some available.
We would.
Let me pick your final thought before I let you go so you can go and enjoy the rest of your day. Let me start with you, Agnes.
Okay. So I advise that in as much as we want to have fun today, we should also stay safe. We need everybody alive and HIV-free. So it's a season of love. Spread the love and not the virus.
All right. Gladys?
One perception I would want to clear as people are thinking we sharing the condoms as promotion of fornication.
Yeah.
And we want to clear that. Whether we share the condoms or not, fornication is going on. So we want to reduce the risk of an infection.
Right.
And that is why we have taken up this bold initiative to come out and be sharing it out in the public. Maybe, I don't think it has been done before.
It hasn't.
I don't think it has. But there's a bold initiative from Garnet to do this. And so we should not be misunderstood when we are doing this. We should be encouraged to do more.
Of course.
And then we also ask more partners, more people to come on board and help this initiative so we can scale it up. Protect yourself, test yourselves as well, and then stay safe.
We'll leave it here, Gladys and Agnes. Thank you so much for coming through and enjoy your Valentine.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so we'll take a short break here on the pause. When we return, I will have a conversation with high life legend, come back, and of course, we'll also celebrate Valentine's Day. In Ghana, it is mostly called the Chocolate Day. The Ghana Civil Society Cocoa Plantation is calling for an immediate end to galamsey. The organization warns that illegal mining poses a severe threat to the survival of the cocoa industry. In a statement issued to mark the occasion, they emphasize that if galamsey is not stopped now, Ghana risks losing its cocoa farms, undermining the very foundation of Chocolate Day and dealing a serious blow to the nation's economy. They urge everyone to support the fight against galamsey to safeguard the future of Ghana's cocoa industry. And they've issued a statement. I can bring you part of it. That's what you have on your screens now. They say that the spread of galamsey is threatening the very foundation of the cocoa industry. Illegal mining has led to the destruction of vast cocoa farmland, deforestation, and pollution of vital water bodies, all of which negatively impact cocoa production in the country. And it wants an immediate halt to activities of illegal mining. Right, so that's the warning up there from them as we celebrate National Chocolate Day campaign. They are asking that steps are taken to save chocolates, save the cocoa farming in the country, and then to save the industry. Now, the chief of Kwabena Krom in the Bakwai municipality of the Asante region is also calling for urgent steps to switch to sustainable mining practices following fresh invasion of the area by illegal miners. Nana Osei Kwabena says the devastating effects of illegal mining practices must not be allowed to continue. Illegal miners have taken over wetlands and farmlands in the area, threatening the long-term land use of the area. Erastus Aridonko honored his invitation to educate the people on the effects of galamsey and gauge the situation in the area.
Country, growing of cash crops like cocoa and other crops. In fact, agriculture in general is giving way to illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey.
I am a farmer. My cocoa lost its yield when I started spraying the crops with the galamsey polluted water close to the farm. Since then, I carry water from the house to the farm.
Those mining this wetland are yet to produce any legal document authorizing their work here upon request by Joy News. Similar haphazard mining activities are dotted along this terrain. The new chief, the Amantransahene of Esumeja, Nana Osei Kwabena III, is worried if this trend is not checked, galamsey will affect agriculture and the future livelihood of the people.
Illegal mining causes so much havoc to the society. Our kids, even the aged, we're all at risk. Our water bodies are all getting spoiled. We clear our cocoa farms for such acts. Deforestation and all its effects. We're even having records of bird defects now from galamsey. We don't have water to drink. Even water that we use for our farms are not making good yield. Our yields are bad because the water is all contaminated. So with this campaign, I'm pleading with my people, Esuminya Mine, Asante Mine, Ghana Mine, we should all come on board and help stop this menace.
The people are equally worried and are calling for sustainable mining practices.
In the olden days when we used to farm, we used to drink from streams and rivers. All you needed was to scoop some clean water with folded leaves on the farm. But today, all the water sources have been polluted by galamsey.
In many communities in Ashanti region, wetlands like these have been the target of fresh, illegal mining. This place is Kwabena Krom within the Bakwai municipality. And this degradation and fast deterioration of the environment, and this is what worries the chief of this area. In his attempt to rid the area of illegal mining and replace it with sustainable, environmentally friendly mining. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Kwabena Krom, Ashanti region.
The Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Murtala Mohammed, has bemoaned Ghana's heavy reliance on imported rice, stressing the urgent need to boost local production through strategic investment in agricultural research and development. Speaking during a visit to the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission as part of his familiarization tour, Murtala Mohammed assured Ghana Atomic Energy Commission of government commitment to providing resources for crop improvement initiative. There is more in this report.
Ghana spent over 6.8 billion cedis on rice imports in 2022, with total consumption reaching 1.4 million metric tons, according to data from IDH Sustainable Trade. This heavy reliance on imports has raised significant concerns about the Ghanaian economy. During a one-day visit to the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, GAEC, Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, Murtala Mohammed, reaffirmed the government's commitment to supporting the Commission's Plant Disease Research Center under the Biotechnology and Nuclear Agriculture Research Institute to enhance crop improvement efforts.
When we went to the Binari. Yes. And I think that if you look at how much we spend annually for the importation of rice and poultry products, you would understand the frustrations that many of us will be going through. We now spend over $3 billion in the importation of rice and poultry products into this country. Things we have the capacity to produce. Within 8 years, it jumped from $500 million to over $3 billion. And that explains why our economy partly is in a huge challenge, because we are heavily import dependent. We have done it before. In 2014, we succeeded in reducing the importation of rice into this country by 60%, and we increased the production of rice by 40%. So it means that we have the potential and the capacity to do that again. One thing I can assure you, that I would serve as a messenger to sell your story to the people of this country and to His Excellency the President.
The minister also assured the
Right, we apologize for the poor quality of that sound. And the Bono East Regional Minister Francis Otchere has reiterated his commitment towards revitalizing tourism and promoting agriculture as part of efforts to stimulate the local economy and create jobs opportunities for the youth. He made this statement after an engagement with the heads of department at the Regional Coordinating Council during his first day in office. Anna Sabet has more.
On his first day at work, the Bono East Regional Minister Francis Otchere engaged staff from the various departments of the Regional Coordinating Council to properly acquaint himself with their operations, as well as deliberate on how to work in unison to help bring the needed development to the area.
I had an engagement with the leadership of the RCC, all heads of department, all heads of institutions. We discussed a lot. I pleaded and suggested to the leadership that we should be united. I don't want division in my administration, because together we progress. So I will expect more from them. They should also expect more from me. We work in unison. I have my own vision. His Excellency has his own vision. The RCC, we have our own vision. And I'm going to work in unison. I'm going to harmonize them so that we can realize our common objective.
In terms of priority, the new minister was quick to note that tourism and agriculture stand tall as he worked towards enhancing the agric value chain within the area.
The Bono East is very broad. I have decided to tour all the districts. I will go to Nananum. I will engage other stakeholders to share with them a lot. But for now, I know that Bono East, we have so many tourist areas. We have very fertile lands for arable crops production. I'm going to collaborate with the appropriate leadership to make sure the tourism potential in the region is maximized. I will make sure the agricultural setup in the region, the value chain approach concept, is going to be enhanced to bring better productivity into the region.
Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Teachman.
Well, the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons, in collaboration with the Ghana Health Service, is bringing healthcare closer to communities to address the growing burden of non-communicable diseases such as hypertension and diabetes. Now, in Ghana, the widespread of NCDs, including cancer, hypertension, and diabetes, is rising alongside infectious diseases like cholera and meningitis. To curb this trend, the GCPP and the Ghana Health Service are deploying medical professionals to local communities to improve early detection and management of these conditions. Dr. Franklin Asiedu-Bekwem, Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, highlighted the importance of early detection and preventing health complications. He stressed that identifying these diseases at the community level is crucial for effective healthcare delivery.
Let's say the facilities that we have are lower down there. So what capacity exists at that low level that we can be able to early detect? And that's how come we are giving capacity to the community of nurses, let's say the people at the health centers, to be able to screen, to have an idea of the burden of, let's say, hypertension or diabetes. And we have this program, the network of practice, particularly at the Ghana Health Service, that we want to empower the lower level to early detect people and manage, because we want to avoid the complications that can lead to deaths. So, this meeting is about research. The idea is that what evidence brings to bear for us to better deliver services to the Ghanaians. And I think that is what we are doing. And as a service, we are open for all kind of expertise or all kind of recommendations that will get us right.
Our chair of the Faculty of Public Health at the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons, Professor Irene Ejipon, is urging individuals at NCDs to engage in regular checkups to monitor and manage their health effectively.
Uncommunicable diseases, I think many of them are things that some can be cured, but many of them are things that you need to learn how to live with it. When you learn how to live with it, you can live very long. So that would be my advice. That number one, have that understanding. Then number two, make sure that you are being monitored, that really and truly this medicine works for you. And it is keeping your blood pressure under control. And it is also not having side effects you don't want. It's the same thing with the hospital medicine. That's why we ask you to come back periodically. Often when people are diagnosed and it's prescribed, then they finish. They just keep buying and sitting at home, buying and sitting. But they need to keep checking you. Is the medicine continuing to work for you? Is it doing what it is supposed to do?
And that's our show, folks, for today. And of course, wrapping up the week. For more stories, log on to our website, myjoyonline.com. Mahama calls for urgent reforms of UN Security Council at Munich Security Conference. Ayene's discontinuation of ambulance case was to protect his former client, Ato Forson. That's according to Godfrey Addo. The 5.7 million figure was an error. Only 3.5 million have benefited from the free senior high school. That's according to former Education Minister Osei Odichum. Well, folks, that's our show for today. Whatever you are up to in the hours ahead this weekend, I hope it's profitable. We apologize for our inability to bring you that conversation with Pozo Hayes due to circumstances beyond our control. Hopefully next week we'll have him here. Take care and enjoy your evening.